Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now it's 6:30.
Good evening to you. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us live here on News 6 Plus. I'm Matt Austin.
I'm Ginger Gadsden. Let's get right to your forecast with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, and we are watching the fire conditions, unfortunately, remain elevated. We're watching a bigger brush fire over 100 acres now. This is in Volusia County. We're zoomed in closer to Samsula. Here's State Road 44. And again, we have the brush fire. This is the radar picking up on the smoke plume trying to work through. Here's I-95, just for reference. And again, a lot of the smoke just south of Samsula near Deltona. So we're watching that carefully. Right now, no structures are threatened, but there's a whole lot of smoke out there, and that's being fanned by gusty wind. Every now and then, 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts from DeLand into Sanford back into New Smyrna Beach. You see, I just recorded over the last hour or so of about 30 to 35 mile per hour gusts. So it is windy in Volusia County. It has been very, very dry in Volusia County. It gets even drier tomorrow in terms of the amount of moisture in our atmosphere. We're going to take a look at that part of the forecast, guys, coming up at about 6:47.
All right, Jonathan, see you then. Thank you. We're following some breaking news now from Celebration, where Osceola Fire tells us a car went into the water there. This happened near the Celebration Town Center. We were told a body was recovered from the car. This is video from the scene. News 6's Mike Valenti is pressing investigators right now for answers about what happened here. We'll have an update tonight at 11.
We've been reporting on a controversial proposal in Tallahassee that could take decisions about developing rural lands out of local hands.
Now we're learning there's another bill with new language that is very familiar. So we had News 6's Catherine Silver investigate the possible impacts.
This is SB 1118 right here.
Dave Baer with Save Rural Seminole has been watching Senate Bill 1118 because of how it could change the landscape of the county he lives in and loves.
Candidly, the bills were effectively dead because the heat was too high.
But now House Bill 579 has caught his eye.
We had sort of in the back of our mind, these tricksters might try to slip this language into another bill. Well, that's exactly what happened.
It caught our attention too.
And that new House bill has already passed 2 different committee hearings, correct?
Yeah.
So we looked at the language.
This is the first time that they added all of this definitional language here about what is an agricultural enclave.
Comparing both bills line by line.
Do not exceed 700 acres, are surrounded on at least 50% of their perimeter.
It's no coincidence that it is literally exactly the same language. Down here, the next paragraph, they changed the first word.
These are words that Baer says in action allow these parcels to be carved out and developed.
That was the biggest threat to Seminole County.
What is different in this new bill? The plan to undo rural boundaries is missing.
That is not in these bills. And so Orange County's rural boundary would not be automatically eliminated in this bill like it was in the prior.
And there's another difference. HB 579 would establish a public hearing process that would involve local governments.
Procedurally, you have to go to this local commission, which will do a technical evaluation.
Baer believes it may be new language, but the goal is the same.
The commissioners will be charged with technically evaluating basically the size of the property, what type of property is next to it, and based upon these physical characteristics, does it meet the statutory definition? If so, they're required to stamp it as an agricultural enclave.
We reached out to the representative with his name on the bill and asked for his perspective. He sent us this statement saying in part, "In light of the concerns I have with the language that was placed on my bill, as well as based on public input, I filed an amendment specifically regarding the agricultural enclaves language." He believes that amendment will limit the amount of parcels considered and will not allow for the spread.
We choose to live in a community that you can go to Disney if you'd like. You can go downtown, or you can go out to the Econ and go kayaking. We've chosen to grow in a way that maintain some rural space, somewhat Florida used to be.
Catherine Silver, News 6.
Yeah.
Interesting to see people put bills forward with language like that in it, because we see local representatives, county commissioners get voted out all the time because of the unpopularity of allowing developments to encroach on urban land.
I mean, old Florida, that ship has probably sailed because there's so much growth and development. You can't get that.
It's hard to hold it back, but
yeah.
with
They're
him
trying-
watching,
yeah.
he's trying to hold,
Yeah.
hold down.
Well, how much more junk could be buried in yards near a military base for decades? Some have blamed military chemicals and a higher than average number of people with cancer.
Yeah, the possible cancer cluster near Patrick Space Force Base goes back in our reporting for years. News 6's James Sparvero tells us how the project will look for more answers.
Any day now, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says it will come back here to South Patrick Shores. I was here 2 years ago when the Corps pushed these radars through yards. Then, at last week's County Commission meeting, the Corps said it will now dig in yards where its ground-penetrating radars may have detected old junk.
If there is problematic soil contaminants, then yes, it would have to be addressed.
This man from the Corps said back during World War II, before homes were built here, South Patrick Shores was an uncontrolled dump for the old Navy airfield.
Are you aware that there are residents who have dug in their own yards and that they have had
Yes.
massive side effects from the things that they've dug up in their yards?
Then we came on this.
County Commissioner Katie Delaney is talking about neighbors like Sandra Sullivan. This is what Sandra told us when she found her yard was full of junk like lead, bullets, and even an oil barrel she said still had oil in it.
I know it's made me sick. Every time I dug up something between 8 days and 7 weeks, I would have symptoms.
In 2019, a report found certain types of cancer were higher around South Patrick Shores than other parts of the country, but the Florida Department of Health couldn't confirm the cause. For homeowners who gave the Corps their permission, the Corps says they'll start digging in their yards with an excavator. They'll make trenches like this, about 8 feet deep and 10 feet wide. And then after they start digging this week, this summer is when they'll start sampling that soil for any contaminants. In Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, News 6.
Let's hope they can get some results in that neighborhood.
How
It's a
uncomfortable
problem.
would you be if people were scanning your ground at your home for old oil barrels?
I'd have some serious questions.
Tank pieces and stuff. It is crazy that happened. U.S. Congressman Corey Mills is talking to News 6 tonight about being investigated by police in Washington, D.C. over an alleged assault. This is the first time he's answering our questions about this.
Yeah, News 6's Laverne McGee asked him about that and some other key issues.
Congressman Corey Mills is an Army veteran who received a Bronze Star for his service in Iraq and was elected to a second term in Congress last year. He was back in town for a dedication ceremony at the Castleberry Post Office. Mills is a strong ally of President Trump, who's talking about privatizing the Postal Service.
Is that even a possibility that post offices will become privatized?
Well, I think that what the president's talked about, and I'm all for public-private partnerships. I'm all for the ideas of the federal government's efficiencies and modernization.
There's also a lot of seniors in the 7th Congressional District who tell News 6 they're concerned that Social Security will disappear. Today, it was announced that former President Biden returns to the national stage for the first time he left office to elevate his concerns.
What would you say to our seniors here?
Well, I would tell them that they can feel confident that we're going to do everything to protect and preserve our Social Security. You're talking to a man who was raised by my grandparents. You know, my mom and dad had drug and substance abuse issues, and it was 9 years old when I was finally taken and adopted by my grandparents. These are two individuals who I treat and think of as my mom and dad who relied on Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. The idea of stripping away these benefits that's been earned or what actually our seniors are needing, I couldn't even fathom that.
In his personal life, Mills has been dealing with assault allegations, and police in Washington, D.C. confirmed to News 6 that they are still investigating.
You have to have an actual victim for an actual complaint or crime in which there wasn't any, and it was actually made very clear that there was nothing that actually occurred in the incident. So I'm all about following due process. I'm all about allowing them to do what they need to do. But I think they're going to come to the very same findings as the prosecutor Ed Martin found, where he said that there was no actual prosecutable charges, there was no actual evidence, and he literally kicked it back to MPD saying that they had absolutely nothing.
Mills also expressed concerns about human trafficking along the I-4 corridor. And we also asked him questions about the upcoming vote on the federal budget. You can see what he had to say on clickorlando.com. Laverne McGee, News 6.
Now to Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. Let's check out what's trending tonight. Chevy Corvette, now part of the Florida Highway Patrol fleet. A new vehicle introduced today features this custom Corvette
Whoa.
C8 Stingray. Not even you'll be able to outrun that.
My
God. Of course, it's got that black and tan paint. Normally, this iconic car comes with a hefty price tag.
Look out, Trooper Steve. Results won has some competition. Yeah. But this wasn't purchased with state funds. It was actually seized in partnership with the Drug Enforcement Agency and refitted for FHP. In addition to keeping Florida's highways safe, there are plans to bring the Corvette to educational events to help promote driver safety. That is a sweet-looking ride.
Looks nice.
Right there.
Don't give Steve any ideas. Here are some of our other trending stories right now over at clickorlando.com. Has Florida law changed when it comes to smoking pot in your car? The short answer is no. The long answer is absolutely no. Trooper Steve makes it clear recreational marijuana use is still illegal in Florida.
And according to Finance Buzz, you can live in Ocala and Gainesville on Social Security alone. Both made a list of 9 Florida cities where that's possible. ClickOrlando.com features 7 other cities. It's not a typical geometry lesson for freshmen at Winter Park High School.
Yeah, with hand movements and music, students are maximizing teamwork and discovering their love for math. With this curriculum, it's getting results in our schools.
But first, it's a hole in the wall. And News 6's Eric Von Anken decided it was time to cover it up. He's getting results at home with a 4-step process to make walls look brand new.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6. Plus, we're getting results in Ocala, New Smyrna Beach, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, if you have any holes in your wall you've been trying to patch, we've got some exciting answers for you.
Yeah, we're trying out a new fix today that makes very little mess and costs about $10. News 6 handy newsman Eric Von Eichen is getting results at home, showing you how to do it yourself, tackle your projects quickly and easily, and keep some money in your pocket.
Julie, I'm going to guess.
Me.
We're at the right place here in Lake Mary. So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm Eric Von Eichen, the handy newsman. As you know,
Excellent.
That's Destiny
Hi,
over
Destiny.
there.
Hi.
Julie, you got a hole in the wall.
I do. It's embarrassing.
Can you show me?
I will. And I was in here cleaning the bathroom, and the cleaning rag fell onto my wheelchair, and it snagged, and I went crash, boom, and the pole went right through my wall.
But you were okay.
I was okay.
Thank God.
Absolutely.
Okay, Julie, I got some stuff.
Cool.
We're going to try and patch it. Hopefully you don't even know it's there.
Oh, that'd be wonderful, Eric. I'm so grateful.
Okay, remember last time we fixed the hole in the wall? We did it, I guess you could call it the traditional way, where we cut out a square in the wall and then replaced it with a piece of drywall. Well, instead, we're gonna give this a shot. It's a patch kit. Step one is to sand this smooth. Step two is to patch it. Now I'm going to slap it on. Now I'm going to coat the patch with a little more spackling and try and make it look smooth. Now we wait till it dries.
How to clean this, stop the stink, and keep it from coming back. It left these people.
Oh, look, it's dry.
Eric, what happened?
What do you mean, what happened? I think it looks kind of great.
Yeah, but it was pink.
It was pink. Destiny, part of the reason I got this is because the pink dries white. Then you know it's dry.
Oh, pink's my favorite color.
Can't help you there. But now we can sand. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, step 4. That's it.
Oh my heavens!
Better than it was?
Oh my, Eric, this is amazing. I don't know how to thank you guys for this. It's amazing.
You're very welcome, Julie. I gotta say, I like this kit. It turned out better than I thought.
I didn't know there was such a thing. You even did the texture.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
We
it's
get
gorgeous.
results at home.
You got my results at home.
I love her.
It turned out really nice.
Yeah, she could probably do it herself if that happens again. It wasn't that hard.
She could just call Eric back. He'll do it again.
He'll come.
for her,
Yeah,
I'm
he'll
sure.
he'll be happy to do
And then
it.
you get some of Destiny's acting in there, and it's good stuff.
It's all good.
Eric also posted step-by-step instructions and a list of materials with links, so you could try it yourself. Like Eric said, we're looking for our next DIY project. Send us an email. Tell us what you need help with at your house.
I need pavers. A whole driveway of pavers. I don't think he's tackling that.
Let's get Eric a hernia.
All right, let's take a live look now. This is our Launch Credit Union camera at Port Canaveral. It has just been a really beautiful day. I know it warmed up quickly though. This morning when I went out, it was really, it's like, oh, it's nice and breezy. And then all of a sudden that sun hit, boom.
And you can tell that because the air is so dry. When the air is drier like that, it heats up much, much faster. So it's always hot and humid, of course, in the summertime, but we're really only jumping 10 to 15 degrees from morning into the afternoon. Now we're doing like 30-ish because of that start again in the 50s and 60s. Again, the air also very dry, helping to get wildfires started and to spread. The breeze is not helping matters much. This doesn't look like much on radar. This is what the radar can see. This isn't rain. This is still that smoke plume in Volusia County. Here's Lake Helen for reference. This is I-4, that yellow line. This is going to be just southwest of Samsula into the Deltona area. State Road 44, that black line there, and that's where that smoke is coming in from now, a 200-acre brush fire. Our last report is that we have 5% containment here. Here's I-95 in New Smyrna Beach. So that smoke kind of blowing from west to east in that very gusty wind that continues to be around. A closer look to show you exactly where this is. Here's State Road 44 again, Bexhill Drive into Erger Drive. This is where the smoke plume is. So again, the fire not threatening at this point. Watching it closely again as that battle continues. But again, the smoke crossing State Road 44. So especially tonight, watch out for some visibility issues on 44 in Volusia County because of this 200-acre, at least right now, brush fire. Live look in Daytona Beach. Again, the air is very dry out there. The breeze is elevated, temperatures into the mid-80s. You see the sky cam bouncing a little bit. The wind out of the southwest at about 10 to 15 miles an hour right now. We're at 79 in Mount Dora, 81 in DeLand, 84 in Daytona, 84 also in New Smyrna Beach. Clouds and rain forecast. We have a cold front coming through. It's not going to change things much, except it is going to bring in some drier air, even drier than what we had today. So this is 3 o'clock in the morning. Note those blue arrows. When the front comes through, it changes the wind direction from the south and west that we've had over the past couple of days to the north and west. As we'll get into tomorrow, the extra clouds as that front comes through as well. It helps to force up that air a little bit, get the clouds. Don't have any kind of rain for you, just a stray sprinkle, if that, as it crosses early in the morning. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that drier air is spilling back in. Sunshine dominant for us again into the afternoon, but the air is going to be very, very dry. Now here's a look at your Pinpoint Accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
Temperatures tomorrow back in the low to mid 60s, rain chances at 0%. Again, just a few passing clouds as that front comes through. More sunshine by the afternoon. We're back to 78 in Gainesville, 81 in Ocala, mid 70s in Daytona Beach into Flagler County, Bunnell, as well as Palm Coast and Marineland. Relative humidity, one of the bigger factors that you go to use the forecast or that you forecast on the day-to-day when you're looking at fire-conducive conditions. Once you're in the 30s, it's starting to get pretty dry, and then it starts to get critical once you get into the 20s and teens, and you see what happens. There's that drier air that comes in. For reference, we had relative humidities in the 30 to 40% range today, so it's dry, but now tomorrow we get it back into the teens and 20s, so that's not going to help the situation much. The one positive tomorrow afternoon, again, it's kind of that catch-22. The wind is going to go back off just a little bit. So while the air is drier, the wind does become a little bit lighter. 84 on Thursday, back to the mid-80s on Friday, pushing 90 on Easter Sunday and beyond, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Hey, our next step on the road is Claremont. So if you live there, we want to hear from you. What makes your community special? What are your concerns? And how can we get results? Let us know at clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. Fill out the form, and don't be surprised if you hear from us. Keep streaming. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, getting those kids ready for summer camp.
It can be expensive, but one local county is offering parents some relief. What you need to know to get results and potentially save some cash.
Plus your weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 5.
So when you think back to high school geometry, what comes to mind?
The hives.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Probably lots of theorems, maybe some memorization.
A lot of memorization. Orange County Public Schools Teacher of the Year is changing that, though, one freshman at a time. News 6's Julie Broughton takes us to Winter Park High School 9th grade center to show us how innovative teaching is getting results in our schools.
Okay, here we go. Don't shout out the answers. You can use your hand gestures to help your group figure this out, but don't shout out the answers.
Spend just a few minutes in Sharice Fussner's class.
Party hat, what does the party hat say?
And it's clear, this isn't your typical math lesson.
2 tangents, meet at a point, party hat.
I do not remember in high school geometry all the hand movements. What's that about?
I am a very kinesthetic learner, and children have all kinds of different learning styles, you know, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic, and I've learned in geometry with all of the theorems that we have to remember and learn that I put hand movements to it or music to it just to help them remember everything. I should be hearing clickety-clacks of calculators or...
Sure, they're learning about tangents, arcs, and chords, but they're doing it in groups, talking it out, and staying engaged.
The person who's doing most of the talking or most of the work is the person doing the learning. So I try to get them as engaged as possible.
Fussner admits she's tough.
We're gonna do the same problem until everybody gets it right. Then we'll move on to harder.
She sets the bar high, and along with that, she's seen something powerful. Students who never thought they were math people start to see math as actually one of their strengths.
Getting them to be proud of their work and know that they can do the work is exciting, and it feeds off each other. You see in the video, the children are working together. They're excited to get the answer, and it's just fostering that the community that we have in the classroom.
Part of that community is the safety to make mistakes.
It's hard. They don't want to be wrong. So in the beginning, I always start my classroom and I make tons of mistakes on purpose, some not, some on purpose. And if they catch my mistake, they get extra credit. You know, you take ownership of it and be like, oh, I did get that wrong. Why did I get that wrong? Let's talk about that. And we look at each other's mistakes and learn a lot through mistakes, which makes them, again, comfortable.
And beyond the theorems, there's a bigger lesson Fussner hopes sticks with them.
And you're going to have many problems in front of you. And it's the solving it with one another and having that open dialogue. And that's what I'm trying to get them to
have a good day.
See that they could solve problems working together with people, because they're going to have to for the rest of their life.
Bye, Paige. Bye, Thomas. Good work today. Write this down.
Well, I feel dumb because I have no idea what they're doing with their hands that whole time.
The important thing is they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
I wish I had someone who challenged us like that, because I took those classes, geometry classes, and man, I did not enjoy them at all. I think I got credit because I could explain how I came to a wrong answer, how I came to the conclusion. They just wanted you to reason it out.
I was just waiting for that bell to ring.
And lunch.
That's right.
Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news at clickfororlando.com. See you at 11 o'clock tonight. Can I say that now?
Yeah, because it's true.